Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today's November 15th, and right now we are looking at the infrared/visual satellite imagery. You can see the storm system off the coast of California are spinning, spreading some clouds back up across Oregon, Washington, helping to keep some of that dense fog at bay. You can see this weak system sliding through British Columbia here. Some snowfall for the higher terrain, just small amounts here as we go through the day today, and some precipitation east of the Cascades also. But we've got a stronger storm out across Pacific Ocean. The Aleutian Islands is going to be moving our way as we go through the weekend. We're going to be checking out those details as we go. Then, as always, we'll take a look at the extended forecast. And the channel's doing quite well, you guys. Thanks for everybody who comes back to watch these videos daily. I can't do it with all my members. If you want to become a member, click on that join button down below. But anyway, much thanks to everybody watching. Now, taking a look, areas of dense fog this morning, probably actually going to be worse tomorrow and Friday morning. We've got some of those high clouds across the area, but as this system swings through, we're going to reduce some of those clouds for Thursday morning and Friday morning, and I'll show you that here on the NAM3KM here in a moment. If you want a nice, affordable home weather station to record all this crazy weather we get here in the Pacific Northwest, highly recommended. Click on that link down below to save 10% off. Now, looking at the NAM3KM, you can see there is some fog around there this morning, but for the most part, it's not too bad. But watch as we go on into Thursday morning. You can see some of this redevelop across some of the Puget Sound, Willamette Valley, eastern Washington, especially areas that get that clearing. And then we kind of break things up during the daytime. But Friday morning, look at the Puget Sound, even a bit worse. Some fog across the Willamette Valley. And of course, some of the valley areas of eastern BC, the Idaho Panhandle, western Montana, and eastern Oregon are going to be dealing with some of this fog on through Friday morning as well. Taking a look at accumulated 10-meter max wind gust on the European. So checking out this weekend storm system here. It was showing some blustery conditions, 31 miles per hour on last night's run here, but gustier across some of the northwest interior and the higher terrain of the Cascades, east slopes, even eastern Washington, some higher gusts showing up there as well, eastern Oregon, and some of Idaho getting some breezy conditions as this low pressure passes through British Columbia this weekend on in through early next week. More on that here in a moment, but this is the GFS on the right and the European on the left. This is last night's run, and you'll clearly see the difference as this storm approaches, because you can see the European has a low pressure center a little bit further to the south, a little bit better gradient across some of the area here. But then you can see it traverse across British Columbia towards Alberta here, and it's going to bring some gusty winds to eastern portions as we go on in through Sunday. Now, taking a look at 6-hour max wind gust on the European, you can still see, as of last night, some of these individual ensemble runs still had some gusts in the upper 30s towards the 40-mile-per-hour range for SeaTac. So we'll watch out for that over the next couple of days. We still have some time to watch this. The control run on the latest had 33 miles per hour for SeaTac. Now, looking at the 24-hour running total precipitation, let's put this into motion. You can see that system sliding across the area here. Some decent precip incoming here across Idaho and Montana, ongoing today. And then that slides off to the southeast. A little bit of a break here until we get towards Saturday. You see the precipitation start to arrive again here on the day Saturday, and you can see some decent amounts again across the higher terrain of BC, the Olympics, and some of the Cascades. Maybe a third of an inch there for Seattle showing up. Similar for Portland there as well. And then you can see that move on into the eastern portions and out of our area. And then we've got another frontal system out here. What will that do? That's something we'll look at in the extended forecast here in a moment. But the picture is quite muddled. Models have been in flux a great deal here over the last few days. Let's just put it that way. Looking at the GFS, accumulated max 10-meter wind gust here. This is for this weekend storm as well. You can see we do get some gusty winds here. Again, mainly across the northwest interior. Maybe some up towards 30 miles per hour for some of the Puget Sound here. But gustier eastern Washington and Oregon, some of the east slopes of the Cascades as this low pressure moves across British Columbia into Alberta. Now, looking at the wider view of things, this is yesterday afternoon's run here, the European on the left versus the GFS on the right. If we put this into motion, you can see that weak system sliding by. Transient ridge moves through, and then the storm system, again, you can see it clearly further south in the European versus the GFS, which would bring some stronger winds into some of the Pacific Northwest there. Actually down into western Washington, Oregon, I should say, because this would still be a fairly windy solution for some of British Columbia. But as that moves through, then you can see another ridge build. Gulf of Alaska troughing still going here. So how close will that front get? We're not quite sure. Then you can see big disagreement start to come out here through the GFS and the European. Some big ridging kind of bumping up into the Northwest Territories and the Yukon here as well. So we've got a lot to work on this extended forecast. You can see things get pretty crazy once we look at 200 hours out. So we're not going to put much stock into anything as of this point. We'll just continue to watch these systems as we go on through the next couple of days and get better model agreement on that. Look at the European. This is a SeaTac, and you can see the latest run has about 0.4 of an inch for SeaTac there, and you can kind of see the chaotic nature of the precipitation on through the extended forecast. Some of the control run here showing a 0.5 inch, and then another wet system there towards the end of November. But take that with a grain of salt. You can see a lot of these ensemble members have no precipitation for some of this time period. Now, looking at total snow 10-to-1 ratio, so a little bit of snow occurring as that frontal system moves down across the area today. You can see bigger amounts across some of the higher terrain, the Rocky Mountains out there, Idaho Panhandle, and through western Montana. And then the next system starts to arrive this weekend. We could get some snow for Snoqualmie Pass here. This will be mainly as we go into Sunday morning. During the day Sunday, Stevens Pass, North Cascades, BC. A little bit of snow for the higher terrain of the Cascades of Oregon here as well. And we'll scroll out to hour 144, and you can see we get another little break there. 8 to 14 day precipitation probability outlook. Look at this. Actually, a little below average signal starting to creep up here on the Pacific Northwest. This could easily change, though. We'll watch this one as we go day by day. 8 to 14 day temperature probability generally above average here from much of the Pacific Northwest all the way down through California. And this goes out to November 28th there. So yeah, interesting stuff in that extended. I mean, we had some stronger storms showing up. Those have gone away here, but this is still a pretty good frontal system rolling on in through this weekend. And then we'll just continue to watch the extended because I have a hunch things are going to be changing here as we go on in through the end of November. You know, you saw the big model disagreement there. But anyway, again, thanks for everybody who comes back and checks on the videos daily. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.